Okay, good morning once again. To those who can hear me, I just want to be sure you can hear me. So if you can hear me, just put something in the chat box for me to see. I think those who are having the video, Brother Yema, can you hear me? Let me see your hand up if you can hear me. Okay. Brother Salom, can you hear me? Okay, so once Brahima is there, I think the rest of you can hear me. And then if you have any questions, as I said earlier, good, okay. If you have any questions, you can just put it in the comment box or the chat box. And then as we go along during the meeting, I will make sure we answer the questions for you. Okay, thank you. Since I'm having about 5 people who can hear me, I think my sound is good. If you can't hear me, probably it could be a fault from your side, so you could check. It could also be from your network. I greet you all and I welcome you to Kings City Real Estate Limited, the number one destination for property buyers in Ghana. And this morning, based on popular requests from our clients, those who want to start their projects, those who have already started, and then those who are going through various challenges, we have decided to take you through the cost of building in Ghana. We are doing this because we have customers outside the country who want to build, and sometimes they also report that when they give out money to their masons or their contractors, they don't really know the cost of the building or the cost involved in building in Ghana. So each and every time the people come back with different excuses and all that. Now, some of the people too are having lands here. They bought their lands for whatever price, let's say 8,000, 10,000, 20,000, 30,000. And then we think it is very, very expensive to build in Ghana. And therefore, you are waiting to get up to 100,000 Ghana cedis before you start your building. Some of them too are so afraid of the building. I don't know, but as I said, starting the building becomes difficult to them because they think building in Ghana is very, very expensive. Okay, it might be true in a way, it might be false in a way. It depends on how you start it and then also what you want. So this morning, we are going through all the steps involved. We are going to start from acquiring the land because the first thing you need to do when it comes to building is to have a land. If you don't have a land, you can't build. And therefore, people also believe that buying lands in Accra or in Ghana is also very expensive. Now, how do you get a genuine land to buy? Some of these questions will be answered here. Although the main focus is going to be the steps involved in building your land. And at the end of the day, you're going to see, you're going to have a fair idea of the cost involved in building or starting your project. So this morning, if you can see my screen, I hope the screen is clear. I'm sharing the screen. And then, Raima, can you see my screen? Let me see your hand if you can see my screen. You can see it. Okay, good. So on the panel of discussion today, I have two panelists with me that will be helping in the discussion. And then on the video, I've actually allowed video participants so that those who want to see their faces fine. But if you can see, I have brother Felix Selom Hosu here with me, who is a construction specialist and also an architect who is into the building plan designs at King City Real Estate Limited. He will be my panel member to help me, or my co-host to help me with the discussions. And then I'm also having brother Emmanuel Agbenyo. If you can see the Redmi Note 8 Pro. I don't know. He's not using his name, but then that's his name. Our project manager, you could see he was on site this morning when I called him to join us. So our project manager for King City Real Estate Limited, a very experienced man. He has been in the business for a very long time. He has been taking care of the projects at King City. If you're a King City customer, then you might have met him in one way or the other because he's always on site. And then a lot of people know him. If you have any questions to ask, those who are raising their hands, as I said, you can put the questions in the chat box because you are just starting and then I haven't said anything. I haven't started the discussions. So If you want to ask any question, I don't know if it has to do with you hearing me or you can't hear me, but if it's about sound or video, then you can put it in the chat box and then we face that. So let me, as I said, we are starting with the steps and then looking at what we will be discussing here. We are going to look at the basic steps involving your building process. So we'll talk about acquiring the land. We'll talk about getting your building plan design. Then we'll talk about getting your building permit. Once you have your building plan, you have your land, you have to get a building permit. Then you can talk about starting the building itself. And after starting the building, we'll be talking about the foundation, or what we call the footing. So we'll talk about the footing, we'll talk about the brick and masonry work. After the footing, what is next? The brick or mason's work. Then we'll talk about getting to the lintel level. After that, we'll talk about the roofing, we'll talk about plastering, we'll talk about painting, and then we'll talk about finishing and moving in. So basically, this covers all the things you need to be able to move into your house, starting your house from acquiring the land and then finishing it and moving in. So as I said earlier, you are going to have a fair idea of how much it's going to cost you to have maybe a 2-bedroom house, a 3-bedroom house. You are going to have a very fair idea of the cost of it in Ghana here. So let's get started. Now, acquiring the land in Ghana, you can get your land in many ways. I mean, we buy land from families, you buy land from individuals, you buy land from chiefs. But since King City is a real estate company, we are into the sales of land. Let me quickly talk about how we can acquire it from King City. So if you are acquiring the land from King City, the processes involved are just simple. First and foremost, we let you visit our office because you're having an office. You're having a place where we operate from. So if you are acquiring the land and it's from King City, then you visit our office at Community 25. Then when you get to the office, we show you a site plan of the lands or of the sites that we are having. We show you how the lands are demarcated, the roads and everything is shown to you. After that, we take you to the site for a site visit. That's the next step. We take you to the site for a site visit. And after the site visit, if you are okay, you love what you've seen, you still want to buy the land from us, then we give you a contract form where you buy, you read through the contract form to see that, okay, the terms and conditions covering the land, you are okay. Then after that, you can discuss payment terms. Yes, we are having payment terms at King City. So we discuss the payment terms. And then after the payment terms, you can make your payment. You can choose a payment term and then you make your payment. So that is the steps involved in acquiring land at King City. This is an example of the site plan. These are the two main sites we are selling currently. I mean, the site that we are dealing with currently. So on your left, on the screen on your left, you will see the Bueko site. This one is located after Central University and is closer to the government affordable housing. Yes, you won't get to the affordable housing, but it's closer. It's after B5 and Fabrimenta on the same road there. So that is the site plan. It's going to be a gated community. And then for those who are here, who are already having sites there, who are having plots there, who want to start your building, I urge you to start after this Zoom meeting, because some of you, the feedback we get is that when are we starting the model homes? I'm telling you here that by December, the model homes are going to start. So those of you who want to come and buy land from there or already having sites from there and want to start, it is time for you to start, because you know, once the model home starts, once the place, the building starts, you know what is going to happen. If you are a business person, you understand. Okay, so on the right, we are having the other side, that is the Chopoli site. That is called the King's Cottage. And what I'm showing to you is a site plan, how the lands are aligned on the site. I think when I call in the Mr. Iman, the project manager, he's going to talk more on that at the right time. But I'm just showing you the two sites we have and the site plans, and then that is it. So basically, in acquiring land at King City, just get to our office. We give you a site plan. The site plan is what I've just shown to you. So we show you the site plan. Then we take you to the site for a site visit. After the site visit, we give you a contract form to read through. If you are okay, then you can choose a payment term. Then you start with your your payment. You make your payment, and we have very flexible payment terms. Any customer at all who has had something doing with King City or who has made purchase with King City will tell you that our payment terms are flexible. Now, from here, you can walk into our office at Community 25 and then start. We'll take you to the site. That if you want to make purchase or if you want to buy something, you can start with that. Now, let's get to the next step, that is getting a building plan design. Because right now, you've had your land, you've acquired your land. Now, I didn't talk about the documentation process, because with King City Real Estate Limited, when you buy a land from us, we give you the site plan and an indenture. Okay, so we'll give you the document. We don't let you go and get a document from somewhere else, or we don't let you go and spend. You don't even pay additional money for documentation. Whatever money you pay for the site or the land, it includes your site plan and indenture. So when we give you the indenture, it means your land is ready and you can start your building. You can start your building. Now, the next thing will be that now that you're having your land ready, you are having your documentation, you want to start your building. So how do you start? First and foremost, you need to get a building plan design. Some people start buildings without building plan design. And what happens is that if you see someone's house somewhere very nice, and then you want to have the same building, and therefore you don't have a building plan design, you call a mason to come and start, you get stuck on the way. Because the house you are seeing, you're only seeing the outer, you are seeing the outside of the house, you're seeing the how beautiful the design is. You don't know the inside. You don't know whether the house is a 3-bedroom house or a 4-bedroom house, whether it's having kitchen, how many kitchens is it having, whether how many toilets is it having. You don't know. So you just see the building somewhere and then you point it and you ask the mason to come and build. You are going to spend more money, and you are not going to, even if you are not careful, you are not going to have a very standard structure. So once you are having your land ready and you want to start building, you need to have a building plan design. Now, how do you get a building plan design? I'm going to leave this portion for our brother, the project manager, to come in here to tell us how you can acquire a building plan design. Mr. Yima, Mr. Yima is with us here. Mr. Yima, if you can hear me, can you tell us a bit about how you can acquire a building plan design? No, we can't hear you. Can you unmute yourself? Okay, so we are waiting for Mr. Okay, we can. Okay, let's go.
Good morning to you all.
Okay.
Okay, so my brother have just spoke about the process of acquiring a land from King City. So before you get your building design, let me quickly talk about the indenture and the registration before we continue. Now you have acquired a land. King City will give you the site plan, and in the indenture, it's advisable for you to do the valuation, the yellow card, for you to be able to get the building permit. Now,
hello, Brother Ima. I think you have to increase your volume a bit, because they're saying they can't hear you. So you can check on your phone and increase the volume at the side of the, if you are using a phone or a laptop. Yeah.
yeah, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I think it's better at my end.
Okay, so let me quickly talk about the registration process, then we talk about the building design. Now, if King City give you the site plan and indenture, it's advisable for you to do the registration. That's the valuation, the yellow card at the Lands Commission. That will enable you to get a building permit. Now, before you buy a land, before you buy a land, you have in mind that you want to 2-bedroom apartment or 3-bedroom. You have an idea. As my brother said, you have an idea. You have an idea. Now, so if you get your building, if you get your indenture, we'll introduce you to an architect that you work hand in hand with the architect, and you just tell him the type of building you want to buy. So let's say you want to build a 2-bedroom apartment. We have different type of 2-bedroom apartments. So you work hand in hand with the architect. You are going to tell him the type of building you want to, your dream house. I want 2-bedroom apartment, but I want it like this. I want the lobby to be at this side. I want the kitchen to be at this side, because the architect, he is not going to stay there. You and your family are going to stay there. So you need to tell the architect what you want. So the architect will just draft a sample and send it to you for you to be okay with the design. If you're okay with the design, then maybe we can just go ahead and print it out. Thank you very much.
Okay, I think your voice is still low. So when you are talking again, you have to check your sound and then we see. But basically, for those who can't hear him, if you can hear me, he's talking about the fact that now that you are having your building plan, you are having your land, you are having your indenture, and you want to have your building plan design. You know, before you even go to an architect and say, I need a building plan, you are having something in your mind. You know you need a 2-bedroom house. You know you need a 3-bedroom house before you get to the architect. So you are telling the architect that I need a 2-bedroom house. Then the architect is saying that, okay, let me give you this. So the architect is here. I'm talking about Mr. Felix. So I'll go straight to him so that we are going to ask him what I need to do. What will I tell him if I come with my land and I say I need a building plan design? What and what is he going to ask me before he's able to give me a building plan design? Mr. Solomon, can you hear us? Can you? Okay,
Okay, I can hear you.
okay.
Once again, good morning to everyone. Hope I'm clear.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, okay. So we are here currently to talk about how to start building, right? So for you to start building, first of all, you have to know your budget. First thing you have to know is your budget. It is your budget that will determine. So your budget is your strength that will determine the amount of money you can afford over a period of time. Save towards that. That means you save towards that, and then you now determine the type of house that when I'm building, I will not be stuck on the way. So then you consult an architect. This is what I want to do. Then you start giving proposals. So how many rooms are you looking at? Or you say, let's say I want a 2-bedroom house. You want a 2-bedroom house? Okay, fine. What are some of the things you want inside? Do you want a study room? Do you want the rooms, all the rooms to be ensuite, that is, have their own toilets? How large is your room? You have to consider all those stuffs before you start your design process. So when all those information has been acquired, and that is when the architect me will now grant you or design a sample for you to see. After seeing it, you say, "Oh, I like this place. If I pass here, I don't like this. Change that." That is how to be starting. But first of all, before we design, we consider so many factors: the direction of the wind, the sun. I'm designing for the future, not for today. So I have to consider so many things when designing it for you. Okay, when assuming if you go to our sites now, there are so many things that you consider on our site. This is a global meeting, so someone will have a land at, let's say, it's Legon. So before I design, I have to come and do some surveys on the land, pick some vital information before I can design for you. The nature of the soil, the topography, all those things are taken into addition. Else in the future, you the client, you might find some problems with the land. So after all those things have been gotten, then I come up with a sample, the sketch. We all agree we've made the necessary change, because if we don't make the changes from the initial state in the future, you altering the design or making changes on the house is going to come at a very high cost. Not for me, but for you, the client, because there are some things that you will not fix in. And then maybe in the future too, you might not be comfortable living there because the initial thing has not been done. Yes, so that is why it's important that you agree on what you want, the sample first, the sketch first. You consider your budget, the sample first. Then after that, we look at it. So I'll hand over to my moderator in the next opportunity he gives to me. We'll talk about the cost and other things. Thank you, Zen.
Okay, thank you very much. I wanted to come to the cost. Um, people don't go to architects to give them building plan designs because they think that it is too expensive or they think it is not important. As I was saying earlier, I was mentioning the fact that some people go around and they see a very nice house, a very beautiful building, and then they go to a mason and say that, please, I want to have a building that is similar to this one. You don't know what is involved. Thank you so much for giving us the explanation that we need, because you don't know what was taken into consideration before building that house, like the land, okay, the plot size and all those things that you were talking about. Now, what determines the price of the design. If I want a 2-bedroom house, my brother he also wants a 2-bedroom house. Now, does it mean that you are all 2-bedroom house has the same cost, or it comes with different costs? And what are the factors? What are the things that you consider in giving a cost? Can you unmute yourself, Mr. Selon?
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so building a two bedroom house, sorry, at different locations, the price, of course, will not be the same. Me building two-bedroom house at East Legon will be very expensive than me building it here at Chipoli. Why?
Yeah.
Number one, material prices.
Okay, Mr. Selon, we are looking at the cost of the design. We've not even come
Oh,
to
okay,
the building yet. I want a
okay,
2-bedroom house at East Legon, okay?
okay,
And Mr. Iman want a 2-bedroom house at Tema, Community 25.
okay,
Now we are
okay.
talking about the design, not even the building yet.
Okay, okay, thank you for that. So the design prices, okay. So the design, we will look at so many factors when designing the house. Number one, that's what I'm talking about, the number of things or the rooms that you want, the sizes that you want. Let's
And I
say
want two
Brahima,
bedroom. I want 2-bedroom, but I want 2-bedroom. So what else will you
okay,
consider?
okay. So first of all, I'll consider the price of how do you say it? Like the things involved in the design process, right? Okay. So first of all, I have to, as I've spoken earlier, talking about you about the client's needs, what the client wants. Okay. So I'll first of all ask you the needs that you want, jot them down. Then I'll go to the drawing board, bring out the sketch for you. Then after that, I'll price the house. I'll give you what I'm going to do. So number one, I'm going to print out, for permit whites, we print out 4 copies of the building. Look at the permit whites, then the details. We will give you the architectural details, the structural details, the electrical details, the plumbing details. So all those ones is going to affect the cost I'm going to be. So let's say moderators, I should have to mention the prices, right?
Yeah, we are just
For
looking at a range. Let's say if I will need a 2-bedroom
okay,
design, I think
okay,
so. Before you even bring the price, now I
okay,
want a 2-bedroom house with just one toilet.
okay,
With the 2 rooms are going to share one toilet. Now, Mr.
okay.
Iman wants a 2-bedroom house with separate toilets. Are we, since mine is a 2-bedroom and his own is also a 2-bedroom, are we paying the same money?
No, no, not at all, not at all. So you that you want two-bedroom to share one common toilet, your price is going to be less. That's
Okay. Okay.
Brahim soon, since his size is going to increase, and then the works on his own is also going to increase. So the prices varies. So the type and then the number of rooms that determine the price. So
Okay.
that's basically what we consider when doing our designs.
Thank you very much. So it means that for me to know the cost of my building plan, the design, I need to tell you the things I want. Maybe I want a kitchen, a large kitchen, a hall, dining hall, all those things, they factor into the cost. They
Exactly,
add
sir.
up to,
Exactly.
okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Now, we'll come back to getting the building plan design. But now that we know that if I need a 3-bedroom house, the price is going to be different from a 2-bedroom house. If I need a 4-bedroom house, it depends on the things that are involved. And then the price is also going to be different. Let's look at the next thing, obtain a building permit. Now, when you have your building plan design very nicely, I think you mentioned something like you printing out 4 copies for building permit purposes and all that. Most of the times, we don't go for a building permit. We just start our buildings. And then you go home, the following day you come and then the local assembly or municipal assembly or metropolitan assembly will come and use a red ink to come and write stop work. These are certain things that we forget to do. If you don't obtain a permit, the local assembly or municipal assembly will come and the task force will come and stop you from building or continuing the project. Mr. Yima, as a project manager, can you take us through the processes involved in obtaining a permit? Now, before you even get to that point, Brother Yima, someone was asking up, someone said that the earlier submission you gave, they couldn't hear about the yellow card process. So can you take us through again the process of obtaining the yellow card evaluation that you talked about? Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Can you hear me now? Please
Yeah.
check.
It is clear at my end. I don't know about the audience, but go on. If there's anything, I think they will alert us.
Okay, thank you very much. So I was talking about the valuation in the yellow card. You see, when you buy a land and you get an indenture and the site plan, it's advisable for you to do the registration at the Lands Commission. That will enable you to get the building permit. Now, if you get the indenture, you need to go to the Lands Commission. So as King City, it is our responsibility. We advise our clients that now that you have your indenture and the site plan, you need to go to the Lands Commission for the valuation and the yellow card. If you're able to get a valuation and the yellow card and you have your building design, now you add the yellow card with the building plan to the district assembly. And before that, you go to the district assembly to buy a permit form, which is 60 Ghana cedis. So let's say our lands are Tripoli. If you want to get a building permit form, it's 60 Ghana cedis. So you fill it. Your architect who designed the plan for you have to help you to fill it. When you fill it, you add it with the building plan and you submit it at the assembly again with a cost of 760 cedis. So when you submit it, they have engineers who will visit the site. They will call the project manager. I will be there myself with their technical team. We'll go to the land and we'll do some inspection, and they will make sure that the type of building you are putting on fits the land. As Felix said, sometimes they look at the topography of the land, they consider a whole lot of things. They will also give you advice that this thing that you are going to do, maybe this land does not commit, or the NADMO, fire service, they all come in. So when the engineers with the project manager will get to the site, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, so when the engineers and the project will get to the site, they have their own technical people who also visit the site, and they'll make sure what we draw will fit into the land, the topography of the land. Then they'll come back to their office and they'll give you a bill. So when they give you a bill, then you pay, then you get a building permit, then the building commence. Thank you very much.
Okay, so those are the processes involving obtaining a building permit, right?
Yes.
You
yes,
need
please.
the yellow card, you need the evaluation. Now, since this is done at the district assembly or municipal assembly, can you get us the minimum cost involved?
Yeah, so okay, so let me give a random. So if you are getting the building permit for 2-bedroom apartment at Tripoli, it should be around 2,200 to 2,800. They have their criteria of calculating it. They use the space wide. As for them, they don't use the number of building, but they have the space wide. So sometimes if you are building a 2-bedroom apartment whereby the space is very less compared to somebody who is building the same 2-bedroom apartment, but the space are very wide, the price will be varies. But if you 2-bedroom apartment to get permit around Tripoli is going to be 2,200 to 2,800.
That is for something like a 2-bedroom apartment.
2-bedroom apartment, yes.
Okay. So those are the things that we consider and to get prices when you are getting your building permit.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Thank you for that information. So that is it. The person who was asking about the yellow card. Someone want to know the purpose of the yellow card.
Yes. Okay, so let me come in the purpose of the yellow card. You see, when you buy a land, so let's say you buy a land from King City. If you buy a land from King City have registered the land. So it's in King City name. So that's the first stage of the registration, valuation, the yellow card. So it's advisable for you also to do the transfer of ownership. And before you do the transfer of ownership, you need to do the valuation, the yellow card. That will enable you to do the transfer. So if you are not able to do, if you don't do the valuation, the yellow card, you can't do the transfer from King City to your name. Okay. So the purpose of the yellow card is for transfer purposes.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you. I think it is well understood. So quickly, we are moving on to the what happens if I build without going for the building permit? I think I've talked about it. We see the task force. Yes.
Yeah. You see, if you build without a building permit, it has a whole lot of consequences. Just that people don't know the consequences of building without building permit. One, the district assembly will come and frustrate your work. Sometimes you might think you are smarter, you might be hiding, but before you finish, something might happen. Something might happen, and they have to come and do some internal service. Sometimes they go to the district assembly and they look at the number of people who have building permit. If you don't have the building permit, then at the end of the day, they feel like you are not permitted to build at that way, and maybe you will not be compensated. So sometimes it's advisable for you to acquire your building permit before you start, so that for future reference or future reasons, so that at the end of the day, when something happens, even the government can compensate you, or you can even submit your building permit. I know there are some engineers who give you the approval to build this type of building here. Thank you.
I'm taking the final question, then we just move on to the next step. Someone is asking, since you are on the land, that's why I'm taking these questions for the land. Someone is asking the cost of the yellow card.
The cost of yellow card for 70 by 100, the valuation of the yellow card is 1,600.
Okay, so that is it. Now, after this meeting, those who are here with us, if you have any questions, if you have more questions, we will leave our contact number, or you can contact King City on info@kingcityghana.com. Yeah, any info@kingcityghana.com will respond to you. That is our email. You can visit our website on www.kingcityghana.com. I also leave a contact number here that you can reach us on, so that if you have any concerns, we can address that. The last one, someone is also asking, okay, I think we've already talked about the cost of the building permit, and he said that the cost depends on some factors, the area, and then Brahima, what do you say the cost depends on? Someone wants to know quickly, then we'll move on.
The cost of the building permit.
Yes.
One, so they consider the number of bedroom, they consider the area that the building is covering.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. So I think the person has gotten an answer to the question now. Now let's go to starting your building. Right now you have your land, you are having your indenture, your yellow card, and everything. You've obtained your building permit, and then everything. The next thing is for you to start your building. So let's look at starting your building. And you start your building from foundation, or what we call footing. That's the first thing we do when we are starting our building. So what do you need? What are the things that you're supposed to put down? How much do you need before you can start your footing? We are going to use case studies. Let's say you need a 2-bedroom or a 3-bedroom house. But Ayima, I'm having my land, I'm having my building permit, my site plan and everything. I'm having my building plan design. The building plan is probably a 2-bedroom house. I want to start. I know the first step is footing. Well, if you are here and you don't know, then the foundation and the footing is what you're talking about now. What will I do? What are the things I should consider? What should I look out for before I start my building?
Okay, so now you have your indenture, you have your yellow card, you have your permit. So one, we need some basic things that can enable you to start your project. That's the profile. You need to go and do the profile. But before you do the profile, you need to consider the basic items that you need. That's 1 sand of trip, that's a 20 cubic. You have 1 chippings, that's a 3/4, that's 20 cubic. And 20 cubic of chippings is around 1,900 cedis at Chopoli. We have sand that's 1,100. So these are the basic things that you need. You need 1 sand, you need 1 stone, you need about 1,500 blocks. That's if you are building a story building, then you need 6 inches. If you are building a normal 3-bedroom apartment, you need 5 inches. To do the 40, you need about 1,500 blocks. So these are the basic things that materials that you need. So my brother was talking about something. You need to know your budget. You need to know your budget. So it's advisable after the architecture design, you can even tell the architect to even give you a cost of the footing. Now we are looking at the case studies of 3-bedroom apartment. If you want to start a 3-bedroom apartment, you need the basic materials. As I said, you need 1 sand, you need 1 stone, you need about 1,500 blocks. After that, you need iron rods like 18 pieces. You need cement like 60 bags. So these are the normal materials that you can use to start your project. Now, if you have these items, you need to do what we call the labor cost. We need a labor. So I'm just giving you the overall, then I'll give you a cost to cover all this. I want to break it down. So your contractor have to go to the site to just do the profile. When your contractor goes to the site to do the profile, either you use a backhoe machine to do the trench. That's what we call foundation. It's called trench. So either you use the backhoe machine to do the trench, or you find a laborers to do it for you. So when you're able to do the trench or the foundation, the next thing that you have to do is that you need to do the concrete. You need to do the foundation concrete, whereby you have to get a concrete mixing machine. You have some laborers, because you have your sand and stone and cement already. You have all this, so you just have to just
so whatever cost is involved before you even come to the total cost, You see, from what you are saying, let's assume the footing is going to cost me 10,000 or 5,000, and I don't have 5,000 cash here. From the steps you are giving me now, since I need sand and I need stones, I need cement, I need blocks, I think I can start paying or buying those things and keeping them. So I wouldn't have to save the 5,000 Ghana cedis or 10,000 Ghana cedis and carry on and go and give to the mason to go and buy the things at once. But then if I'm having 500 cedis, I can use it to buy cement. If I get 1,000 cedis, I can use it to go and buy the sand, the chippings, right? Is it something that can happen?
Yes. So as we started, we're talking about budget. We are talking about budget. So sometimes when you draw your plan, and you have your permit, at the end of the day, you need the basic things. As I said earlier, you need maybe you need 120 cubic of sand, which is 1,001, as I said earlier on. So if you have your 1,001, now that if you don't have the money in bulk and you have 1,001, you know that 1,001 can give me one sand. So you can just buy your sand and go and put it on the site. Maybe you want to organize yourself again, 3 days time, you have your 1,008. That can also give you chippings. You get your 1,008, you put it on the site. Now you are organizing yourself for the blocks, because at the end of the day, you need blocks to do the footing. So you need 1,500 blocks to start your footing. How much will 1,005 blocks cost me? One block is now 3 cedis, 20 pesos. So 3
depending on where you buy.
Depending on where you are, yes, depending on where you are. So one block at Chopoli now is 3 cedis, 20 pesos. If you are buying 1,500 blocks, then you need about 4,800. Now you can decide to buy it in BT, so you can just buy 500 and go, because you cannot have the 4,800. So you can decide, okay, this month I'm going to buy this week I will buy 500. The next coming week I will buy 500. The next coming week I will buy 500 for me to be able to get my 1,500 blocks. So when you buy your 1,500 blocks, now you are certain. What do you need again? You need cement. You need cement, about 60 bags. So now cement is 40 cedis per one. So you need 60 bags. How much will 60 bags cost me? Okay, let me divide it into 3. Let me divide this 60 bags. Okay, every week I'll try and buy 20 bags and keep it, so that before the month end, I'm going to get my 60 bags. So you are just breaking them into phases. So before you realize, you are able to get the materials. If you get the materials with 2,000 or 1,800, you can pay for labor and you do your first foundation concrete.
Thank you so much. Let's go to Mr. Salom. Salom, do you have anything to add to what Brother Ima has just said?
Okay, Naima said a lot. I would like to thank him for that. Okay, so first of all, I want to go back to the permit first. The permit, I want to add a little.
I think your
permit,
sound. Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah,
Okay.
better now. But don't let the mic go too close to your mouth, please.
Yeah, so it is very important that you get your permit plan before your construction starts.
Okay.
Else the consequences you can't bear. They will frustrate you, they waste your time and your resources. So let's bear in mind that you must try to get your blueprints, the necessary information, get them right before you start.
I think your network is breaking, and the earpiece is also too close to your mouth. So just release it a bit.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, let's go.
So now let's take the 2-bedroom house. Assuming I want to build a 2-bedroom house, I've said that you must consider your budget, know your strengths, your budget. So you have your budget. Let's say you have your money now. You are ready to start a building. That is when you have to consult the architect.
Hello, I don't know where you are, but your sound is breaking. We have to leave you to fix it so that we come back to you.
Okay.
And then when we come back, don't hold the mic. You can leave it. I think when you leave it, it will be better. Yes, but Ayima, now that you've talked about, okay, we are checking the mic. Now that you've talked about the basic things I will need and the fact that I don't need to gather all this money and wait before I start my burden. What rough estimate are you looking at? You're looking at, King City, we put up standard burdens. We don't really do shoddy works. And therefore, if the cement to sand ratio is, let's say, 1:2 or 1:2, I'm just giving a rough number. If 1:2, we don't do it 1:3 or 1:4. In Ghana here, in Accra here, I want to probably put up something, a 2-bedroom house or a 3-bedroom house as you are using as a case study. Looking at the figures involved that we've mentioned now, are we looking at something between 25,000 to 35,000?
Thank you very much. So if you are building, let's use 2-bedroom as a normal 2-bedroom as a normal case studies. If you want to build a 2-bedroom and you want to use the budget should be around 8.
Hold on. Hello. I don't know. Okay, so I'm working on the sound. I think you can go on now.
Is it okay now?
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, so we are using 2-bedroom as a case study. So as I said, the basic materials, the 1,005 blocks, you need the chippings and the sand. If you looking at the overall cost for that project, then you should budget around 18,000 to 15,000. Should be able to do the footing for you for 2-bedroom apartment.
Okay.
With a spacious hall.
Okay, thank you. Someone is asking a question on the foundation. He's saying that if the foundation blocks and superstructure blocks the same, I guess prices differ. This inches blocks is different from 5 inches and 5 inches. And we have prices for each. Before Brahima even comes in, we are not selling blocks and we are not giving you the exact price of blocks. We are just giving you an estimate. So we're saying that wherever you buy your blocks may differ in terms of prices. I might be buying it from my village, and the person there, the seller will be selling it to me at 2 cedis 50 pesos. You might be buying it from Chopoli, and the seller could be selling it at 3 cedis 50 pesos. You might be buying yours from East Legon, and the person could be selling it at 5 cedis. Okay, so for the prices of blocks, it differs. We are not saying that the blocks are here and the price you are selling them is 2 cedis. So when you bring your 2 cedis, we are giving you the blocks. We'll come to that. Okay, so I think the question I'll let Brahima talk on is foundation blocks and superstructure blocks, are they the same?
Yes, so they are not the same. It depends on the type of building you are starting on. So let's say if you are building a story building, if you are building a story building, what you use to do the footing might be different from what you continue from after the footing.
Okay.
And if you are building a normal 3-bedroom, it's a normal 5 inches that you can use to continue. So they are all different. Depend on the type of building you are putting on. If it's story, it varies. Yeah.
Thanks so much. Let me check quickly if Mr. Solomon is okay. Then we'll pick from him and then we'll move on to the next step. Mr. Solomon.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, let's see if it is better.
Okay. So as I was saying, am I clear now?
A bit. We are still having issues. I don't know if you have to change your earpiece or.
Okay. Hello.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Very sorry about those incidents there. Okay, so let's say you want a 2-bedroom house. So after your design, that you, the client, and the architect has agreed, right?
It is.
And you ask.
Hello. It's still bad. If you can get a different earpiece, kindly swap it and then you come back to us as we move on. So we'll take your views once we move on. Okay, so someone is saying your headset is faulty, so you have to change it. As I said, swap your earpiece and then come back. We are spending some time on the foundation because foundation is very, very important when it comes to the building. If you have a good foundation, if you're able to put up the foundation, the rest of the process becomes easier. Okay, so if you just join us, we've been talking about the steps, the processes involving having your building, the cost of the building. So we're talking about money here, we're talking about some of the costs. We've talked about the cost of cement and blocks. We are giving you an estimate. The reason why we are not saying that you surely need, Mr. Iman was saying you might need you're using the word about 60 bags of cement or 40 bags of cement because it depends on the kind of structure you want to have, the person who is building for you. Okay, so the labor is also very, very important. You have to consider the expertise. And that's why we are giving an estimate and not the exact figures. If you come to King City, our construction company, and you sit down with us, that is when we are going to give you the detailed breakdown based on what you want. If you tell us you want a 2-bedroom house, then we are going to tell you the exact cost of a 2-bedroom house. Okay, so from the foundation, let's move on to the next step. You're talking about the step-by-step processes involved in building in Ghana, and then we've talked about the foundation. Those who join, we've already talked about acquiring the land. We've talked about getting a building permit. We've talked about getting your building design, and then we talk about the foundation. So we're moving on to the brick and then the masonry work. Now, Mr. Selom, if you can hear us now, let me quickly check if you can get something from you about the foundation. Then we'll move on to the brick and masonry work.
Okay. Hope now I'm clear.
Yes.
So what I was saying is that after your design has been granted, everything, all the both parties have now come to a conclusion on the exact design that is going to be executed. Then the various costs for the faces is going to be given. So the faces, what I mean about the faces is that the breakdowns of all the things that is going to be involved, the material cost, the labor cost, all those items will be given. The number of sand you need, the rods, all those things are going to be given. And of course, material prices do vary. So don't be surprised. You come to Chopoli and get cement here, let's say 40 cities, and you go to Accra, maybe it can reduce. The locations makes the prices to vary. So when all those things has been granted, then you look at the how do you sell it? They say, oh, how am I going to start getting the material? I believe we will come to that, how to start it itself, the
Yes.
budget wise, the monetary wise. I believe we'll come to that aspect.
Yes. So
Okay.
basically,
So
thank you very much.
when
Oh, you finish your submission.
okay, so that is what I've said in the initial stage, that the environment where you are going to build your house will affect the cost of your house, right? So that's what we are going to look at in the next phase. How I can build with my minimum amount. That's what we are going to look at. So moderator, take over.
Thank you very much. So that is the basic step. The first thing I'm looking at, the foundation, which is very, very important. Now that I'm having my foundation, but I've gotten all you talk about, the sand, whatever. Then after everything, I've been able to do my foundation. So the foundation, I'm not having money. Can I pause and come and continue later? Okay.
Okay. Yes. So when you are done with your footing, you have done. The footing comes with a whole lot of things. I don't. Let me chip in the plumbing work. When you do the other one, you have to do the filling, you do the plumbing work, and you do the concrete itself. So after the concrete, you are done with the footing. That's the footing.
Okay.
So when you are done with the footing, I want to start with the blocks work. So that one you can pause. So as I said, still we want to look at our budget. So you need about 2,200 blocks to finish a 3-bedroom apartment up to the entry level.
Okay.
Now, as an expert, sometimes there's no money in the economy. So what you do is that sometimes you can break it again. You need 2,200 blocks. You need to gather yourself. So how much will 2,200 blocks cost me? Okay, if 2,200 blocks will cost me 6,000, I can break it down. Let me be buying it in phases. I will be buying it 500 every week. When I get 500, I will buy it. Well, every week I will buy 500 until I get my 2,000 blocks. Now, the blocks where does not cost much. When you have your blocks and you have your cement, you are free to go because you have sand. You have some sand there already, so you don't need any sand. So you can just use the sand to continue. Now, that one you don't need to stretch yourself because you have enough blocks. You can just find 2 masons to just be doing the laying for you at your own pace.
That is when you are already having the footing, you're having the foundation. And now you've been able to buy blocks. Let's say even you are saying I need 2,000 blocks, but let's say I'm able to buy 500 blocks. Can I lay those blocks and later come and continue when I get other blocks?
Yes.
So now let's look at the cost of 6,000 for 2,000 blocks. And I'm not having that 6,000, but I'm having 2,000. Now the 2,000, let's say I'm able to buy 500 blocks, and then I buy cement, and I can pay for labor. I can call the labor I can call for labor to come and start something on the footing for me up to a level. up to a level where the 500 blocks will get finished. Then I can continue it later when I get money, right?
Yes. So we have, yes. So under normal circumstances, we know that every mason is supposed to lay 100 blocks per day.
Okay.
So one mason is supposed to lay 100 blocks. That's 2 bags.
Okay.
So you pay them per day, by day. So we pay a mason by day. That's 80 Ghana cedis, and labor that's 70 Ghana cedis. So if your strength, you can't get that, and you can't push 10 masons to come and work on your project as a goal, you can decide to take one mason or one mason. If you have 500 blocks, I would advise you take one mason with one laborer to come and lay 100 blocks per day for you and pay that 150 labor and be doing. Other than that, well, we live in an economy whereby you cannot gather money. You cannot gather money and push 10 masons to come and lay within 1 week. They should lay all your projects for you. So it's advisable that when you have 300 Ghana cedis, so far as you have blocks and you have sand, you can just let a qualified mason go and do a by day work and just pay the person by day, and you are free to go before you realize you have put on the building without any stress.
I think it's very, very important since we are talking about cost here, and we are looking at how to break down the cost so that it doesn't look too big, doesn't look so huge. We've talked about the fact that even when you are putting you are bringing out your footing, you can buy the cement and then the sand, the stones. You can buy them in bits. Whenever the money is ready, you can buy them and then you come and keep it on the sand. Earlier on, someone was asking if you can mold the blocks yourself, and I don't think it stops you. But I'll ask Brother Yema, if I have sand, if I need 2,000 blocks and I'm having sand, I'm having cement, should I call for someone to come and mold the blocks for me, or I need to buy them? It's compulsory. I need to buy the blocks.
As an expert in the field, I would advise you buy a blocks.
Okay.
Why am I saying that? I did a research about you molding your own blocks and you buy, and sometimes the difference is just about 300 to 350 cedis. And after that 350 cedis profit, you have to, you need to make sure they are molding the correct blocks. You need to be there yourself to supervise. Sometimes they need to mold it at their, maybe you can't mold it at the site because maybe there will be no water, there will be other things. So when you consider all this as an expert, I would advise that you buy it from an expert who are into molding of blocks than you to mold blocks yourself, because sometimes the difference is a very little. It's insignificant. Yeah. So I advise that you buy blocks to start your project.
But Marcelo, you've been supplying a lot of blocks to big companies. You've been supplying to Fabrimental and a whole lot. What would you advise? Should I do should I mold my blocks, or I should buy my blocks?
Okay, thank you. So if you want, how do you say it, buy the blocks yourself, the cost involved, sometimes it's worrying. So assuming I want to buy 3,000 blocks, right? What we do is that if we know your strength, you can come and list with us. Oh, this is what I have. I want this amount of blocks, but I want to be paid like this, like this. This is my payment plan. But you buying the blocks yourself, our advisor, that's the best option because there is no stress. You don't have to be going, checking up on them. Oh, have they stolen my cement? And all this. So I advise that you buy the blocks because there are some chemicals that we add to the blocks to harden it. If you might not get that chemical to add to it for it to harden, and then the people that will be mixing it for you to, they might not mix it for you well. So I would advise that just gather your small money, liaise with the company that produced the block. Oh, I want to be paying small. This is the amount that I want to be paying. Let them know that this is the quantity I want. Can you supply me? Then I'll be paying it to few. So I advise molding the blocks. The stress involved, to be honest with you, it's much. But if you have a relative that can do it for you, make sure that you get the chemicals. You contact us. We give you the chemicals that will harden the block. If we do it for you, fine. It's cool. But make sure it is of the best quality. Yes,
Okay.
that is what we.
Okay, thank you very much. There's some noise on your background that I want you to check, but thank you. I think Brother Salom is always in his submissions. He talks about come to us because he is into the construction side and they have been building for King City clients. Okay, so if you are here and you are a King City client or a client somewhere, you could see his expertise. If you need anything, you can come to them. That is the JCW, a subsidiary company of King City Real Estate Limited, and then they will help you with your building, and then they will give you all the advice you need on the building. They have the experts who are always on the field and they are working. And I mentioned one of the companies that they've been working for, Fabrimentas. As time goes on, I'll mention some of the companies, the big companies they've been working for their clients. Okay, so thank you for your submission, brother Selom. So yes, brother Selom is talking about the fact that, and brother Ima also agreed to the fact that, you should buy the blocks instead of building it. I mean, molding it yourself. All this while, I've been thinking that molding the blocks yourself is cheaper. And then probably if the cement to sand ratio is, let's say, 1:3, I can let them reduce it to 1:2 for me so that the thing can be stronger. But then brother Salom is also saying that the expertise have some hardness that they add to it. Is it always true that the blocks that you buy from the block factories are better than the ones that are being produced? Brother Salom, since you are into the construction side and you produce blocks and sell, I want your view on that.
Okay, thank you. So block factories, so when you come to us, our block factory, we produce quality blocks. Yes, quality blocks. We are one of our biggest customers is Fabric. We're supplying them for some 5 years now, and they don't complain about our blocks. It's always of top quality. So we advise that the blocks that are produced at the factory, because of the machines, we don't use, let's say, hand mold.
Okay.
We have our own machines that we use, these self-made machines. So you load your sand inside with your chemical. Everything has been mixed already. The machine compresses it very hard. So the blocks that comes out, it has already been what? It's already hard, right?
Yeah.
So it has been pressed very hard. It's very hard. So you can't compromise on our quality. The blocks that we produce is of high quality, and then because of the chemicals to the work that uses for you yourself, you will come and
Yes, so
testify.
that is if the blocks are coming from JC, or sorry. But let's say it's not coming from your company, and then I want to, you see, we want to have a very interesting conversation here. The blocks are not coming from your company. I am having sand and cement, and I want to mold my own blocks. The advantages of that is that probably if I'm free and I'm at home, I'll watch them mold the blocks for me. And I'm also saying that if the cement to sand ratio for a normal block is let's say 1:3, as I said, I'm just using a raw figure. I'm just using using figures to represent what we are having. And I want to make it 1:2 so that my block will be stronger. Don't you think it's an advantage over coming to buy from or going to buy from a factory somewhere?
Yeah, of course, that's what I'm saying. The mixing too is part. It's an advantage.
Yeah.
You end up. So what clients do is that when you mold it yourself, maybe you bought your stick of sand, you might have some small sand left for you. That one, some minute sand. That one, let's say that's the only advantage that you
Okay.
get.
Okay. Yeah, you are coming, brother Ima. Brother Ima, you are off. You are.
Okay, so as you are saying, we are talking about cost here. So
Yeah.
if the ratio is 1:3 and you decided to do it 1:2, at the end of the day, the cost you incur will be more. Hope you are talking. You are getting what I'm saying.
Yes. But also on the quality, sometimes you go to some. That's why I was telling Brother Salom not to. I mean, since he's an expert and they have a factory, sometimes you go to a block factory, you go and buy the blocks, and you see that they are not quality.
That's why it's advisable that when you want to start your project, you engage a good contractor, an expert who can just look at blog and just recommend this blog.
Thank you very much. I think the answer.
Some of the blogs you can just look at them and just this blog they have no quality. In the next 3 years, you see them just developing cracks and all that. So you need to engage the expert who they can recommend. When you see the blogs and you say this is a solid blog, you can use it.
I think you've answered a lot of questions on that, the quality of blocks. Now let's get to the next step of the building process. That's the lintel. So if you just join us, we were looking at earlier on. We're looking at the foundation. We look at the brickwork. So as Brother Iman said and Brother Felix said, you were calling your mason to come and do. Let's say you have one mason, one laborer. You have your 2,000 blocks, but every week you call them to come and let's say fix 500 blocks or 100 blocks. Now this is what you've got into. You've got into the lintel or door or window level. Now from the picture you can see that we fixed some door frames okay, and then window frames. This image you are seeing here. We assume this is just a normal building. Someone that thinks that, okay, I want to start a building with a minimum. And this project, if you want to know, is one of the projects by JCW. It's having a the person is having a very low budget, but they still has to get the person something very, very quality. And that is what you can see here. But Aima, now I've been able to get my 2,000 blocks. So I've called the masons and they've been able to build up to a certain level. I've gotten to where we call the lintel level. At the lintel level, I need the window frames and then the door frames. When I was building from the foundation to this place, whenever I get 500 cedis, I'm able to buy cement. Whenever I get 200 cedis, I'm able to buy blocks. And the masons were doing it for me. Now I need window frames, I need door frames. What do I do?
Now, okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, so now you have gotten to this level. The same principle are required again. Now, what do you need now? Now, when you get here, you need iron rod. You see, when you get to this level, as I said, you need a window frame, you need an iron rod, you need board, so these are the basic things that you also need again to start this project. So, as an expert, one of the most important things that will cost you is the iron rod. So you need to do an estimate. How many iron rod, how many 12 or 16 do I need to do my concrete? So we'll calculate the number of we'll calculate the number of iron rod for you. Okay, so if the iron rod will cost you 2,600, I would advise you buy the iron rod. You find your steam bender to tie them for you. Now, before you do the concrete, you need wood. So we need to buy some wood to support the concrete. Or how much do I need to get this wood? Maybe it will cost me 1,200. I'll also give you the estimate. So you are working with your budget. I hope you are getting me. So you are working with them. So I need maybe 1,200 to get wood, that 2x4 and 2x6, and to do this wood.
Okay, so someone wants you to increase your volume a bit.
Okay, so as I said, when you get to this level, we have some basic things that you need again. One of the things that you need at this level is the iron rod. That's a rod. You need 12 You need 12 you need 16 and other stuff. So
the 12 you are mentioning is the types of iron rods we have, right?
Yes, we have the 12 we have the 10 and we have the 16 So you need an iron rod to be able to put it on the lintel so that you can cast your concrete. So these are one of the important that you need. So you need to do cost for the iron rod for you. So this building, okay, then you need iron rod which will cost you maybe 2,200. Okay. How do I get? Or maybe you need one. You can decide to buy it or you can decide to mold it. So you need iron rod by 30 pieces for a steam bender. For a steam bender to be able to do it for you. So after that, when you're able to do the cost, when you're able to do the iron rod cost, you need the second thing that you need a wood. So I should be able to give you the cost of the wood that will help you to do the concrete. After the cost of the wood, what do you need a day? Now we are talking about the window frames. We need to also give you a cost of the window frames. So now we have 3 different costs. So now you can break these costs into phases. So let me buy the iron rod first. My budget is 2,000. How many pieces will I get for iron rod? Okay, let me buy this 16 iron rod and put it down. Hope you are getting me. Okay, yeah. After the iron rod, after you are done with the iron rod, okay, I need wood. I need about 27 wood. So when you are done with this wood, what do I need? I need a window frames. Let me get my carpenter or to do the filter work. So the carpenter will also come and do it. So at the end of the day, you can break it into 4 phases, and before you realize, as you did with the block work, then you can continue again with that with your small amount. There's no need for you to gather 260 million to say you're going to do it. So you can still break it into phases, and before you realize, you have done your lintel work.
Thank you so much. Mr. Selon, I'm at the lintel. Then, as Brother Iman said, I have to break it to phases. He's talking about iron rod. I've come to also understand that the iron rod, I don't need to go and buy all the iron rods. If it is 20,000, I don't need to go and buy everything at once. I think I can be buying it small, getting the steel bender to come and do it for me, coil it for me. I don't know the terms you use, but fix it for me, and I'll be keeping it. So when it's okay, then I can call the mason to come and work on it for me. Now, before we even move on to your submission, the iron rods, still, would you advise that I go and buy the one that has already been coiled, the one that has already been fixed, or I should just get the iron rods and call the steel bender to come and do it for me at home?
Okay, so every type of work and then the type of iron rod that you should use, right? So let's say you are the lentil, and then we are dealing with single story now. We are not talking about story buildings.
Yeah.
Story building, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
For the story building, we also have that type of iron rods for that. Depends on the number of floors that you are doing, right? So let's say you are working with just a single story of 2 bedroom. Yeah, friend, yeah, we call it self-contained, right?
Yeah.
So for a self-contained, you need to use your 12 rods for the entire length. Note, note, there are some people, well, they will say budget wise, they will only cast on top of their windows and leave some spaces open. That is not advisable. Make sure you cast the entire lintel, you reinforce the entire lintel with the rods to avoid cracks. So I want to chip in this. For the iron rods, they are quite expensive. So there are some companies, the company that sells iron rods. You can go with them. Oh, this is my plan. This is my budget. But I want to ask, do you give iron rods to clients and then they pay at the end of the month, or they pay portions at the end of the month? They will understand you. Let's say a month I can pay 500, but the iron rods that I'm supposed to buy, the quantities that I'm giving. So let me say this before we give the plan, or when the plan is done, we calculate every cost, number of iron rods, cement, sand, all those things. We provide it for you. We do that for you. So you know the amount that you build, or let's say your masons cannot say buy 6, whilst the architect has given you that you only need 3 for that. We've calculated that already. Every architect makes sure he does that. Not only me, but every architect makes sure he does that for the client, so that you work according to that. So back to what I was saying, you go to the company, you tell them, oh, this is what I can afford. They said I should buy 12 200. That amount, I want to be paying it small, small every month. So can you help me? They will understand you, give it to you, and then you start paying. So that's what some companies do. So those are the basic things that you need: the rods, reinforcement of the top.
But
So that's it.
I asked a question that would you advise that I go for the iron rod and get the steel bender to come and do work on it for me, or I should go to the company? Some of them are already made. Um, should I go? Which one should I go for? Which one is advisable to go for?
Okay, so some clients would like to go alongside with the steel bender and get it. That's fine, right? That's fine. So that means so that you also, as time goes on, you're also getting to know the items. Yes, you get to know them. It's also advisable that you go. If you want value for value for your money, make sure you go with the
Okay,
make sure you go with the steel bender so that you get to know what exactly is buying.
all right.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
But I know sometimes when people are giving estimates, I know JCW, I mean, with a Felix company, they are very experienced in those things. They are experts. So when they give you the estimate, you don't come and tell them, no, I can't buy 10 iron rods. I want to buy 5. I use the 5 to do for me. They won't do that for you. They make sure you do the right thing. What do you make of that? Sometimes you are told by an expert or a mason that this thing you need 40 bags of cement, and you say, oh, my uncle did the same thing, but he used 30 bags. What do you make of it professionally?
Yeah, we are talking about value for money and we are talking of future investment. So if you are building today, it's an investment that you are doing. So advise client that if you are building today, you need to put on all resources so that tomorrow you'll not blame yourself. So if your uncle was able to use 40 bucks to do, and today the building is developing cracks and other stuff, you don't use the same procedure. So you have to, that's why it's good that you use the expert, so that at the end of the day, we are not going to do any shoddy work for you, because at the end of the day, we want to protect your money. We want to protect the value of money that you are spending today, so that tomorrow you're not going to bear any cost again. So it's advisable that you do the right thing today, so that at the end of the day, you're not going to blame yourself, or you're going to say, oh, I spend money and look at the work I'm enjoying today. It doesn't work like that.
Thank you very much. If you just join us, just know that we are handling the step-by-step process involving building and the cost of building in Ghana. So we are looking at the things that you need, the steps you need to go through to be able to get your building done. Now, if you still have questions, I'm trying as much as I can to answer the questions. So those who are having questions, after the submission, I will open up for everyone to ask questions. I mean, those who are having questions written down. But for now, you can write your questions in the comment box, and then I'll respond to them. The next one quickly is the roofing, because after the lenting, you have to roof your house. The roofing you need uh, roofing sheet. So if the building is a 2-bedroom house and is big, then you need roofing sheet. And then we also have, initially we're having these wooden roofings. Now we are having metal roofings. First and foremost, which one would you advise, brother Selom? Should I go for the wooden roofing or the metal ones in Ghana?
Okay, so the type of roofing or the framing, because the framing and then the sheet, it depends on the environment, right?
Okay.
Okay, let's say you are building close to the sea. Of course, you must know that place, use something, anything related to metal, or let's say it will rust. It will rust. So we
Okay.
advise that so the environment will determine the type of roofing or the framing that you do.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
So we are. So talking about the one that I will advise, well, it all depends on money. You see, let's say you are not building close to the sea
Okay.
or those aspects. You should look at the cost. When the cost has been given to you, you should look at that one, whether you can afford. Oh, the metal, it is nice. Can I afford it? If you can afford the woods, why not go for the woods? There is no advantage over the other. The only thing that is good about the metal is that you can use the metal to frame the house. Maybe you are not ready for the sheet, the covering now, but you can buy the woods. You are not ready for the roofing sheet itself, but you have the money for the woods. You
Okay.
can go for the metal, right? Frame it metal. It will not spoil.
Okay.
It will not spoil. When you do that one, then you start preparing for the sheet. That is one is for the metal.
But
So
but
that,
but
that
the metal and the wood, which one lasts? I mean, which one lasts longer?
well, of course, you see metal. You will go for metal because of the properties. Metals are hard, and
Yeah.
if you should get, we have grades, we have brands of woods that are very hard.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
as I said,
Sure.
the environment that you are using it, that one is very important. You must know the environment that you are using it for.
Okay.
That
Thank you. But Aima, now I've gotten to the roofing level. I've decided on whether I'm using wood or metal. So let's say I'm going for wood. I still have a budget to talk about, and then the roofing sheet. There are different types of roofing sheet. How do I also save and structure my budget into phases to be able to uh, have my roofing nicely?
Okay, thank you very much. So we have gotten to the roofing. So the same thing goes. We have what we call the palings. We have what we call the rafters. So at the end of the day, we need to calculate the number of palings that you need, the number of rafters that you need. So when we're able to calculate the number of palings and you know the number of rafters that you need, at the end of the day, you can be able to break it down again. Okay, now let me buy my rafters. Let me buy my palings now. I need about 60. I need about 60 palings. I need about 25 rafters. So at the end of the day, you can be able to break it down because the roofing and the woodwork is different enough together. So you can concentrate on the woodwork for now. When you're able to finish with the woodwork, then you can concentrate on the roofing. And now before we look at the type of roofing, because now we have a whole lot of companies who are into roofing work. So at the end of the day, you need to concentrate on the woodwork. When you are done with the woodwork, then you can look at, based on our experts, we can recommend some of the roofing companies for you to go there and go and do business with them. So now we are talking about the roofing. As I said earlier, we have the palings, we have the rafters. So we can calculate the number of palings that you need. We can calculate the number of palings that you need. Now we have what we call the secret roofing. Now we have what we call secret roofing that take less wood. Hope you are getting me. So all this one we have to explain to you, and you need to come. Okay, so we have secret roofing. We have the gable roofing, whereby they use the wood to do the gable for you. So what you are saying right now, they use the wood to do the gable. So as you can see, this one will take more wood than somebody who is doing a secret roofing. Hope you are getting me. So when we get to this stage, we need to explain to you. So at the end of the day, since we are working with cost and we want to minimize cost, at the end of the day, with our expert, we can recommend, if your place is a low area, I think we can just recommend a normal roofing for you than or secret roofing for you. So sometimes we look at the budget, as I was saying, we are looking at your budget, we are looking at the cost, and we'll do a recommendation. But the most important thing is that you know the number of food that you need to do the roofing. And at the end of the day, we'll give you the cost and you can still break it down.
This is very interesting. I've always been thinking that, and I know they are when I was not in construction. I mean, I'm not in the construction industry, real estate industry. I know some masons that I've called to work for me. They never told me there's anything. I mean, the terms you mentioned, rasters and those things. They just come and then they charge you. You give them money. You put the wood on the thing, and sometimes for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years time, it starts to. You see that the wood will start having issues, and then I mean, what Brother Felix also added, the fact that when you build closer to the sea, and you use the metal to roof it, it is going to rust, it's going to corrode. I think it's very, 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 very important. It never crossed my mind. I was thinking the metal is nice, it looks beautiful, and therefore, if I want to build, whether it's closer to the sea or not, I would have just gone for. Had it not been this meeting, I wouldn't really know the difference. And this is a question someone is asking. When it comes to, so I'm picking the question from Mr. Lai Good. That's the name on the Zoom. When it comes to metal, can you specify the type to avoid corrosion? Type of metal to avoid corrosion. Mr. Selom, do you have any idea the kind of metal I should use that will avoid corrosion? Or if I go to the metal companies, they will tell me what to use.
Okay, so with the metals too, that is why the roofing experts take note when it comes to roofing, right? It is advisable that you do sole sourcing, right?
Okay.
The company, they will come to your site with you, the client, and then they will determine the type of roof that will fit the house based on the surroundings on the environment.
Okay.
So you don't just roof like that. You must do sole sourcing. Let them come to the place, the site, show them the site. Don't do it over the internet. Let them be there in person. They take views of the place, then they give you the cost. But for the metals that do rust, rusting of course. Let's say the galvanized one, they have grades depending on
Okay.
chemicals that they put, right?
Okay.
We have the aluminum sheets, all those ones. The aluminum, it doesn't, how do you say it? It doesn't rust per se, but there are some that it will rust when it's close to the sea because of the sea. The salt issues with the sea, yeah, it will, because it's passed through the wind, it will fall on your roof and then it will end up corroding or rusting. And
Okay.
so when it is close to the sea, we have tiles, asphalt shingles there. Yes, the asphalt shingle is quite expensive. Well, based on the type, and it is very nice too. We have so many grades of roofings there. They will show you the grades. This is what I want. This is what I want, and then their prices. Then you do your sole sources with the companies, moderator.
Thank you. Whenever you are talking, I just don't want you to, I mean, even go, because I know for JCW, when you come to them with your building issues, your construction issues, they give you an advice, and because they are experts there, they tell you what to do and what not to do. Let me just ask this question quickly before we move on. When I come to your office, I visit your office for my construction work, and let's say it gets to the roofing level, I was able to build up to the roofing level, and I want to go and buy roofing sheet, this wood and all that. So you've come to my site to tell me what I need, the kind of roofing I need and all that. I don't have the money cash. Do you have anything where I can be paying JCW to come and do it for me later?
Well, of course, we have packages for that. And then that one, it is management issues. You will be invited to the office. You talk to the manager. So assuming we've given you the cost for the roofing, you can pay small. Why not? You have room for that. Clients first.
Okay.
So we make sure we put you.
We'll come back to that. Madam Celestine Ofori, she's asking a question. Won't the metal make the room hot? I mean, I've also been seeing it and I've been thinking, won't these metals make my room hot? Or is it because I will use air condition?
Well, so metal making rooms hot, that one is on the lighter side. There is ceiling, right?
Yeah,
There will be
yes.
ceiling.
Oh,
Ceiling will
okay.
prevent the heat from emanating through. That
Okay.
one too is also there. So the metal, that one is at the top, and then the rise, the spaces in between, it's above the room. If it has not been done well, that is when it's going to make the room hot. But if it has been done properly, you will not face problems like that.
Yeah, so Madam Celestine, I think an expert is talking. He said if it is done well, then you will not have any heat issue. Uh, no, I've roofed my house. I mean, what the picture we are seeing now is a wooden side. After that, they put on the roofing sheet and all that. I think at that point, I can say I am almost 90% done with the room. That is from my point of view. And then even if I want to start sleeping in, for me, I can move in. But then the next thing that we are going to discuss here will be the plastering. If I want to plaster my house that I've roofed nicely, I want to plaster it and start moving into it. What are the things involved in the plastering? Is that one too very expensive? Because up to this point, I've spent a lot of money on the footing and then the roofing, the lintel as well. But Aima, what would you advise when it gets to plastering?
Okay. Yeah, so before we do, okay, so let's say we are done with the roofing work now. So let me chip before we go to the plastering. We have what we call the electrical works. Yeah, so we need to do the electrical works now before we start the plastering. We need to chisel the wall. We need to put in our pipes and our sockets before we can do the plastering. So the normal chisel work, that one is not expensive. You just have to buy the normal pipes. You find a label. You have to involve the expert. They will know where the switches are supposed to be. Every room where they are supposed to get their switch, their sockets, and other stuff with the pipes. Then we'll chisel and we'll put all the electrical works inside. Now from there, then we'll go into the plastering work. So let's say the electrical chiseling is another aspect. So we can give you a cost which will be maybe 2,700. You can break it down, buy your pipes, get your labor to chisel, an expert electrician to just do the chiseling for you. Then we take it from there. Now we are done with the chiseling. We want to do the plastering work. It's very important.
Brahima, before you move on, I want the audience to keep in mind that we are using a case study as in a 2-bedroom house. And that's why maybe you are mentioning prices like 2,000, whatever. And even with that, you are just looking at the minimum amount because you are building with a minimum amount. So that you don't say, oh, I had a Zoom meeting, a webinar with KCT, and they said that they are going to charge me 2,800 for electrical works. Please, that's not what you are saying. Thank you.
Okay, so now we are done with our electrical chiseling. We are fixing our pipes. So we want to do the plastering work. What do we need? We need this time around. We need enough cement. We need about 80 bags of cement, or more or less. We need about 20 cubic of sand to do our plastering both in and outside the building. So one of the most important things that we should do is when we want to start our plastering, we need to get enough sand. So by then we have short some sand. So we need to get 2 trips of sand. So that's 1,000, 1,001. So when you don't have the money, you can buy the basic thing, that's the sand. So when you buy the sand, we need about, so let's say we are using a case studies for 2-bedroom. We want to plaster both inside and outside. Yeah, I want to plaster both inside and outside. Then we need about 45 to 50 bags of cement to do this plastering work. So we can so if 1 bag of cement is 40 cedis, you just multiply by 40. And now it's not compulsory that you get all the 40 at a go. As the same tradition goes, you can just organize some masons, 3 masons. Whilst you have your son, you can involve 3 masons per day. When you have your labor money, that you can pay 1.5 every day. You can just tell them to start with 1 room, and before you realize, within 14 days, they are finished the plastering work for you. So you can still break it down. There's no need for you to gather 10 masons to give them 45 bags of cement to just plaster within a week for me. It doesn't add anything. So you can still break it down. When you break it down, they'll be doing it in phases for you. Before you realize you have done with your plastering work, and we take it from there. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ima, project manager. Mr. Salom, will you add something to the plastering before we move on to the next step?
Okay, so the plastering, someone would like to know maybe the cost, right? The cost. Then I also advise that if you know, or if you want to save more cost, yes, consider these stone designs on the house. With stones, you will not be doing painting at the outside again, right? Someone would like to know that aspect. That one too, it's economically wise that you look at that aspect too. It also adds more color to the house, very beautiful. You don't waste more money. so that the only painting we do is the inside. But
Okay.
that one too, the prices, if you should consider the price for now, it is forever. You will not be painting your house over and over again.
Yeah.
That is for the plastering. So as my brother have said, that is it. It's very okay. You get your materials. And with the 2 bedroom case study that we are doing, well, some of the materials that you buy will remain. A
Mm.
trip of sand, some will remain for other works. If
Okay.
probably it's why not?
Someone is
You give it.
asking, Mr. Salom. Someone is asking the sound specification. Uh, he's saying that Mr. Laego is saying that sound specification. I guess the finishing to the walls has to be considered in relation to the type of sound to buy. Or
Yeah, exactly.
Yes,
So,
yes.
so the sands we have grades. So every work and then the sand that you use, right? So we have, if you tell the track or the guy that will bring it, oh, I want plastering sand or the medium, they will bring it for you. That one, it's okay for plastering. It's not sticky. It works well. And then when they are using it, you have value for your money, so that it speeds up the work. There are some sands when you use, it doesn't speed up the work. You see your people complain that, oh, this one, how do you say? It's making them not work fast. It's the sand that is causing that. So every type of sand and then goes with a particular work that should be done. That is why everything has been given to the clients.
and once the work slows, it means you are going to pay more.
Yeah,
Uh,
exactly.
okay, Madam Stella is saying awesome presentation, informative and insightful. We thank you for putting this up. King City Research
Thank
Limited. God bless your team. One thing I want the people here with us on the meeting to notice that we because of time, some of the things involved that we skip, like your tiling and all that. Because yes, without the tiling, you can still move into your house when it's plastered and you've done your screening and all that. And that is why we don't want to talk about. We'll have another meeting where we are going to talk about those basic details, how making your house very fancy and all that. But now we are looking at the basic steps, the things that you need for you to have your building ready and then moving. And now we are done with the plastering. I think I've actually uh, done the roofing. I've done my plastering, so I can go in for the painting. Now I think Brother Felix has raised something that is very very important. He's talking about the cost that is involved in painting, and then if you consider using these stone designs, okay, or probably even tiling, then it means that you are not going to paint. You are not going to spend more money on painting. And well, we are here painting the house. What are the things you should look out for? What kind of paint should you use? What are the colors you should look out for? Maybe I think I like black color and then red color. Is it any color at all that I should use to paint my room and outside? Let's
Okay,
go,
thank you.
Brother Felix. Yeah.
Okay, so thank you. When it comes to the painting, painting, uh, of course, the companies too are there. I'll come to the company as well later. But you look at the use of the house should determine the type of painting that should be applied inside. There are some paints that brings heat. When you paint the room, you in no time you see that you are feeling hot. What is causing this? The windows are open, but you know that you feel heat. It's from the paint. You know that aspect is there. So your painting guy or the contractor that will work on the painting for you, you will sit with him, and then he will give you all those details, the type of paint that does this, does that, so that you may not end up buying the wrong paint.
Okay.
So you must consider that some paintings they absorb heat, and then
Yeah.
you end up having difficulties in the room. And then what we also do is that when it comes to the paintings, there are so many varieties in the market now. Thank God to science. So many things has improved. There are some paintings, after applying it, you just have to wash the wall. You have maybe there is a dirt on the wall. You just have to clean it, wash it. That's it. It will come back to its original form again. So you end up saving money on that aspect. Assuming it is dirty, you don't need to call your painter to come and repaint the entire space again. No.
Okay.
So you just wash it off with water, and then it has become clean.
But
So
I might
that is one
anything.
aspect.
Thank you very much, Mr. Salom. But I might anything to add. Your mic is off, but I.
Okay, so let me chip in this quickly before we go to the painting. After the plastering, I think the next stage we need to look at it, the electrical work, which is a little expensive and it's very expensive. We need to look at it again. After you have done your chiseling, you have fixed the pipe. Now you need the cables. You need the cables to just fix so that at least you can get your AC. You can get, and it's very expensive. So whilst we are looking at the minimum capital, it's still the same tradition goal. You look at an expert electrician will come and give you cost, the number of cables that you buy. We have different type of cables, so you need to consider all of them. How much with one core cost? How much with another core cost? So after that, you need to find out your electrical works have been done. Now, when your electrical works have been done, you move to the burger proof. You need to fix in your windows. You need to find out an expert, or that one too, you need to find an expert to give you a cost so that you do your burger proof all over the place. When you are done with your burger proof, before we can look at the painting, because we assume that when you are done with the painting, then we are moving to the interior wherever the tiles will come. So you need to do the chiseling work. You need to fix in your burger proof before the painting comes in. So I see the same tradition goes. When you are done with the plastering, you need to find an expert electrician. You go to the cable companies to get you they'll give you an estimate for the cables. You can decide to be buying it, if beat it. When you buy if your money can buy 2 core, you can buy the two core and put it down. The next one, when you can buy 3 core, you can just go and buy the 3 core and put it down. So before you realize you have bought all your wires already or your cables already, and you just find the expert to come and do the wiring for you. Because bear in mind, the wiring is very important. If you don't take a qualified electrician to do the wiring or the installation for you, it will give you a future problem. And you need to come and chisel your wall, and it will make all your work very nasty. So it's very important that you engage the expert so that they'll come and do your electrical works for you. After the electrical works, you move to the burger proof, as I said earlier on. You need to make sure you fix in your burger proof nicely, because as we are doing, security wise is very important. You need to make sure your burger proof have been fixed well. Then from there, you can consider the painting. As my brother said, painting is very important. You need to look at some of the painting attract heat. You need to consider a whole lot of things before you choose a color or that is. And sometimes you even look at the type of soil. The type of soil even come with the painting, because sometimes when you are building in a cotton clay or a typical clay soil, it's advisable you can even do a small terrazzo at the down before you can start the painting, because a typical clay soil have this particular that sometimes just can disturb the wall. So it's good that you do some small terrazzo at the down before you can do your painting. So these are some of the things that you need to consider before you choose to paint your house. Thank
Okay,
you.
so Madam Celestine is asking, since you're talking about the painting, she's asking if the stone design is better than the painting. She want to know.
In economic, I think we'll commend. Because I know that's my brother said earlier on. When you do these stone designs, there's no need for you in 3 years to come and repaint it again. It's there for you. So in economical or to save money, I think it's advisable you can sacrifice the paint to do the stone design.
Thank you so much. I think, but Absalom said it, that the reason why he's talking about the stones, that you preferring that one to the painting, especially the exterior, is that, it is cheaper. And then the stone design, when you do it, it lasts longer compared to the painting. The painting, when the rain comes, the sun comes, sometimes it fades out and you have to repaint. But for the stone, the terrazzo design or whatever you call it, it's there for a longer period. Then let me take this person's. Please, the questions can now start coming since we are almost at the end. Remember, we are not talking about some of the things like the window. After everything, you are fixing your window, the kind of window to fix, whether it's supposed to be glass or wood. I said that in our next meeting, which will happen before the end of the month, we'll be looking at those things. For now, we are looking at the steps involved and the minimum amount you need to have your building at the stage whereby you can move in. Now that you have done the painting, you have done the plastering, you are doing the painting, it means you can finish your building and move in. But if you have to talk about the kind of window to use, whether you should use glass window, whether it should be louvers or it should be wood, the kind of all that, even the burglar proof my brother was talking about, all these things are extra things that will come. But the basic things you need for your building to be done for you to move in are the ones that we are talking about. These person says, I'm loving the presentation. Thanks so much. Kindly share the recording with us for future. Yes, we'll surely share it with you. Let me see the other person. Okay, so let's look at one last step. As I said, we are not looking at any fancy things like the tiling and that things. We'll look at that one later. For now, since the basic things we need for your building are done, I think the next thing will be finishing. And finishing, brass, sellum. I mean, what are the basic things you need in the house? The basic finishing materials you need to be able to move into your house. Now that you are done with your painting and you want to move in and start sleeping before you do another thing.
Okay, so that one, it depends on the client. Some clients will like to bring, of course, big furnitures and other stuff. That one, it depends on you. Oh, now you've built your house. Now the consultants or the architects will not stop you the type of furniture you should bring into the house.
Okay.
So it's your beds, your chairs, your dining sets, all those stuffs. You just, and then we have, so what we do now is that now we have interior designers there, people that will plan your room for you. It's also there in the system now. That's someone's job. They look at the house, they plan it for you. That's if you can afford, right? People love fancy things in their houses.
Yes. And that is something we'll be talking about in our next webinar. We'll be looking at after you've done your building with a minimum capital, and you want to add fancy things to it. This kind of ceiling, the blinks. You see, the POP ceiling and all that. We'll look at that. Okay. So someone is asking. Okay, if you have,
I'd like to chip in this.
Okay.
So one major thing that saves money is source sourcing, right? Someone will say, what is source sourcing? So source sourcing is that you go into the market and comparing prices. I'll get maybe a cement here for 35 cedis, and then other person is saying 60 cedis. Why not? Then you compare prices. So you see which one will suit my budget. So that's one major thing that saves money. My CEO always says that cheap things are also always expensive. So make sure you go for the right one, the correct one. And that's what we are looking at. Thank you.
I think someone is asking about what would be the proposed estimate of the yellow card and building. I think that we've discussed that. Maybe you were late, so I will send you the video through your email, and then you have that. I think we talk about it twice: the yellow card and the building permit. So how about my own architectural plan and my contractor? Okay, so with this one, I'll leave it for the project manager to answer. But what I know is that if you are building with us at King City, if you have a land with us and you want to build with your architect and your contractor, the building plan must be standard. Project manager, Mr. Yima.
So we don't restrict. What we normally do that we want you to bring the qualified contractor to work on the site, because at the end of the day, this is an estate company, and anything that will bring the company down will not accept it. So you bring your building contractor to the office, we'll regulate him, we'll make sure we have interaction with him if he qualified to do the building, because as I said, not every a contractor might be good at building at Kumasi, but when you come to Accra, the nature of the soil in Accra might be different. So sometimes we try to have interaction with them, whether they have fair idea of the soil they are going to build on. If they have fair idea, they are good to go. We allow them, but we'll be supervising, we'll be working hand in hand with them. So at the end of the day, we'll make the estate very beautiful. So they are allowed to build.
Okay, someone says, God bless you, God bless your team for the wonderful work. Let me see the next one. I'm very glad to be part. I'm very glad to be part of this meeting. I have learned a lot. Thanks, King City. Okay, thank you too for joining the meeting. Then Mr. Vincent is saying that with the cement, the various strengths must also be taken into consideration. For posterity's sake, price and strength are a very good combination. Yes, yes, the various strengths. So when it comes to the burden, when you come around, all these things, the basic things that we're talking about, the price of the cement, the types of cement you should use. We have experts there. Mr. Salon was talking about some. I was just trying to prevent him from talking about some of the things. But basically, at King City, we are having a construction department. So doesn't matter whether you have a land with us or your land is with a different construction company. Once you have a land and you want us to build for you, you can come to our office and then you sit down with the contractors, you sit down with the experts, they will tell you, advise you. They'll go to, first and foremost, they go on the land, you go and check the kind of the type of land you are having, the type of soil and everything. So they will give you an expert advice. Maybe you want to have a story building, but the land cannot contain the story building. So they will give you this advice and then what to do to have the best. We are still taking questions. If you want to talk now, you can raise your hand. Then we give you the chance to talk, to ask your question. But for those who join late, okay, someone has just said something. Yeah, so okay, it's Madam Celestine. Madam Celestine has been.
Madam Celestine will be at Kumasi soon.
Madam Celestine is like, if we're to be like our number one customer, our number one fan, okay, Madam Celestine, you hear from us very soon. At Kumasi, we don't like talking about things. Okay, so Mr. David is ready to talk. Let me unmute Mr. David. Mr. Is it Divine? Can I say the thing? Okay, so Mr. Is it Jambis? You can unmute yourself and talk, please. Yes, can you hear?
Hello?
Yes.
Okay. Please, I'm very happy, but actually I've started something. Having said that, I spoke with one of your lady concerning how to be paying in bits for the blogs and other things.
Okay.
So can you please send me your recorded this thing? So because I didn't start from the foundation level.
All right, all right.
God bless you. Thank you very, very much.
You are welcome. Thank you. Then there was another person whose hand was up. I can't see the person. If you are here and you have something to say, just raise your hand. I'll allow you a chance to talk. So those who just joined, or those who joined, we are wrapping up. I'll give you our contact numbers on which you can reach us. Mr. Emmanuel is here. Okay. Someone is asking a very, very important question here. The person is saying that with a small estimate, what was the sum total in the case study considered? So you see, I'll let the project manager come in, but then we were talking about a lot of things that you have to consider. And some of the things that you really don't want to add them to your project. Okay, as in, you see, we got to a point we're talking about the roofing and we talk about the metal and then the wooden roofing. So if you're going for the metal, the price will be different. If you're going for the wooden, the price will be different. We also talk about some other things that are very important. So it also depends on the things that you want to consider. But I think my project manager will tell you that with 85,000, depending on where you want to build it, the materials you need, you should be able to have your 2-bedroom house ready. Project manager.
Sure, yeah. With 85,000, you should be able to give you a 2-bedroom apartment. So let's say we have the footing that will cost you like 15,000. The person wants to know the estimate. I want to go through so that he can be taking note. So with the footing for 2-bedroom apartment, it should be around 15,000 to 16,000. We have the structure that's the block work.
Yeah.
The block work, everything should be around 18,000. We have the roofing and covering should be around 22,000. The plumbing work and the other work will be 3,000. Electrical work should be 3,000. Painting should be 4,000. TNG and other stuff. So with all this, with 85,000, you should be able to give you a 2-bedroom complete apartment. But as I said earlier, you can break it down. You don't have 85,000 at a go. So what do? We can break it into 6 or 7 phases, and before you realize, in the next 12 or 18 months, you will be able to put on 2-bedroom apartment without any stress.
And it also depends on your location and then the kind of building you want to have. Yes, the 2-bedroom, but then the kitchen size, all other things matter. So don't say that because we are saying a minimum of 85,000, then once you have your 85,000, you go and look for a mason and drag the person, take it 5,000 and start putting up a 2-bedroom house for me. Please, there are things you need to consider. Yeah, so someone is asking, how can I identify a land that is waterlogged, and what can you do to prevent it from affecting, I've lost it, from affecting, oh, I thought I was reading and it's gone. Okay, so the questions are many. Please hold on, let me just, how can I identify a waterlogged area, and what can I do to prevent it from affecting your building? Okay, let me take the second question. An advice on how to build on waterlogged and very loose soil, the foundation type, and how to control the water, knowing very well that to surely. Okay, so she's asking what they have to do to identify a waterlogged area. As a project manager, Brahima, how can you identify a waterlogged area?
Oh yes, yeah. To identify a waterlogged area, sometimes you look at the nature of the soil. That's why sometimes even people who want to buy land, they normally want to buy land in the rainy season to find out when there's a downpour, how will the area be like. So you should be able to know the type of soil, whether they place a lowland, whether they place a valley. And if you are buying a valley area, you should know that when it rains, that place will be a waterlogged. But there are some things that you have to do to protect your building in case you find yourself in a waterlogged area or you have bought it already and you don't know what to do. Yeah, we have other things that you have to do for you to build safe in a waterlogged area. One, we are talking about the footing. We are talking about under normal circumstances, we have a normal standard for a footing. But if you find yourself in the valley or a waterlogged area, then this time around your footing should be more. You should have to raise your footing to a certain level. And one, we have some chemicals that we use to do the footing so that at the end of the day, it will not affect the block works. When we have some rubbers, and when you are doing the concrete or the foundation, you have to put inside before you lay or you do your concrete work. So there are a whole lot of things that you have to do that it will not affect your building in case you find yourself or you find a land in a waterlogged area.
Okay, so thank you very much. We have about 7 minutes to go. If you have any questions, you can keep your questions coming. One of the things that you should also note that when you are having a land, you are going to buy a land from somewhere, and you go in the rainy season, the land is flat, it's not slopy. Sometimes when the downpour it takes a longer time, the place will be flooded. But then you have to go maybe the following day to see if the water has been absorbed. Because yes, on a normal land, when it rains, there will be flood or the water collected. But if you go 2 or 3 days later and the water is absorbed, then you know that place is not a flooded area. But then after 2-3 days, you go and the place is still, the water is still there, it's not absorbed, and you know that okay, this place is a flooded area. And then, as he said, you take precautions when building the foundation and all that. Mr. Dan Aqua Abaka, can I get a price range for a standard building plan design? I don't know what you mean by a standard building plan design, but we're talking about, we give a case study for a two-bedroom house. And even that, they talk about the factors to consider. There are other things to consider to be able to have all those things. So I don't think we really have anything like a standard building plan design. It's based on the number of bedroom, number of toilets, the area, I mean, all those things. Thank you very much, Mr. Daniel Baka. I think Mr. Daniel Baka is our customer. He bought 4 plots of land at Chopoli. Someone is asking if Chopoli is waterlogged. Project manager, is Chopoli a waterlogged area?
No, please, Chopoli is never a waterlogged area. It's a lowland area, but it's not a waterlogged area. You know, from the Winya to Adan, they all have a lowland. So it's a lowland, but it's not a waterlogged. There's a difference between a lowland and a waterlogged area. So Chopoli land is a lowland, but it's not a waterlogged area.
Mr. Dan, Mr. Benjamin is saying that I think this question has to be related to King City. Okay, so you can call the office line, but let me try answering here. You go to your indenture and the barcode was not added. The project manager is here. I think it depends on when you got it. I don't think the barcode side front has been. Project manager, someone is saying he got his indenture, but barcode was not added. I think barcode was started last month, right?
Last month, yeah. So it depends on the time.
The time you got it, because King City, our promises are just true. Whatever we say, we do. What about Bweko? Is the place waterlogged? I don't think Mr.
Hueco is not a waterlogged. The nature of Hueco soil is what we call the cotton clay soil. It's not a waterlogged area. It's not a waterlogged area. The place is slippery, but it's not a waterlogged area. It's a cotton clay soil. And if you consider from Central University up to Adan, that's the nature of the soil.
Okay.
It's not a waterlogged area.
Okay. So someone is still asking about the sum total of the case study. I think it has been given. So if you don't have it, I'll send the video for you to go to. Someone is asking, I think when I got my indenture, okay, in terms of footing, I went to your Facebook page and the increment is too much. Can you do something about it? Brother, what's the name? Alex Ado. Mr. Alex, I think there were factors we considered in increasing the prices. Okay, and as I talked to you, you see, we told our customers to buy land. Some of them came to buy, some of them didn't buy. Land is an investment, and factors that will affect its increment. So I would rather encourage you and strengthen you to come and buy now, because if you don't, we'll enter a new year and the price you're having now might even increase again. And some of them are having it as an investment. Mr. Project Manager, do you have something to say about anything to say about the price increment he's talking about?
Yeah, as you said, land is an investment, and at the end of the day, we have a whole lot of factors that we consider before we increase the price. And as you said, we have other things that we'll be doing on the site too. So we'll be lifting the face of the site very soon. So these are some of the factors that we consider before we increase the price. So, Mister, you need to come and buy. But very soon we'll still increase the price again.
We'll increase the price. If you ask our customers, they will tell you that. I mean, people know King City is one of the most genuine real estate companies to buy land from. You buy land for 6 years, 7 years, and your land is still there waiting for you. No litigation, no problem. Let me take the last question. I think it's time, and we'll be going off soon. We're going off in 2 minutes. And when building on a new site, as in a place with no existing buildings, what are some of the things you must consider? Mr. Salom, you are building on a new site. The place is new. I mean, there's no house there. There are no houses there. What do you consider?
Okay, so building on a new site, first of all, you must consider the safety of your material that you're transporting there. So how can I do that? Well, someone who would like to construct a temporary structure and store its materials, or get a container then pack your things inside. That's very important. Else you'll end up stealing all your materials. So you must consider where you will keep your materials first. Lock them and then keep the key or your contractor. So that's very important. Make sure you do that. And then so you can consider that aspect too. And then if possible, hire somebody to always be there for you, if only you can afford.
Thank you. I think at this moment we have about 1 minute or less than 1 minute to go down. I'll put our link on the website link on the chat box. In the chat box, you can reach us on www.kingcityghana.com. Let me quickly get Brother Iman's number. Is our project manager. So if you want to, if you have any questions to ask him, I'll give you the other guy, Mr. Felix number. He is a construction expert. So if you have more questions to ask, you can ask him. Also, if you are looking for their numbers, in any case, maybe you couldn't get a number from here, you can call our office line. Our office line is on our website. You can get it from there, and then you can call them. You reach out to them, whatever issue you have, they will address it, and then you'll be happy. If you talk about our customer service, so this is Brother Ima. Brother Ima, project manager. Okay, so that is his number, 0246 414316. And then let me get you that of Brother Selon. Okay, Brother Selon. Can you give us your contact number?
Okay, so you can contact me on my MTN line 055 411
Yes.
8012. Okay.
So I'm
And you
putting
can
it.
also contact me on Facebook.
Okay, I'm putting it in the chat.
Then search for Felix. Okay.
Felix is a construction expert and an architect. So those who are asking questions about, I can see questions in the comment box asking about the charge of architectural works. I put Brother Felix number there, 055-411-8012. You can contact him. As I said, you can call the numbers on our website, www.kcityghana.com. Whatever questions you have, you can reach us. We're also having our email, so we'll contact you direct through email. And then if you have any questions, you can respond to that through the email. Thank you all for joining us. We don't want to make the meeting too long. We enjoyed the time with you, and I hope you also enjoyed the presentation. Hope to see you another time. Bye-bye.
Bye.